to the first topic of the show. Straight into it, 7 minutes into the podcast. Actually, 6 minutes for the listeners because, well, science. But the first question of the show is Pokemon Go too big? Here's the things we're going to discuss in this topic for those of you that are tuning in maybe to this snippet or just wondering what's ahead of you. We're 1 week in. There's lots of other countries coming. It's the biggest mobile game in history. There's lots of time being spent with it. People are quitting their jobs. There's sponsorships coming, and servers are getting overloaded. It's so big. And so the question is also included in this. You got these little girls around playing it. Yo, little girl, you ain't heard of anyone. You haven't heard of Pokemon. You got these jocks and these disco jockeys playing, and it's like, yo, you guys don't even know what a Mankey from a monkey. Like, there's the question we're going to discuss in this, the whole concept of people, the hipster mentality of I was into Pokemon before everyone else was. Is this okay? Is this cool? Should people that aren't into Pokemon stop playing? And some of the people may be like having obvious answers. But we'll talk about that all in this. But I think the first things first is that, we're 1 week in. It rolled out to 26 extra countries. 26, right?
Yep.
Yesterday morning. Still a no-show in Japan due to the servers being crazy. I don't think Canada has it yet, so sorry, Hayden Gaming.
Yeah.
You haven't got yours yet. But basically the rest of the UK and Europe and all of that over there.
Just really strange, though, that it's not out in Japan yet. It's like, I mean, it's got to be out for maybe the Nintendo development staff and stuff. It's like everybody's over there, so is Mr. Miyamoto playing? Like, he seemed to really enjoy the game. It's not rolled out in his country yet, so, like, all these, I mean, Pokemon's arguably the biggest in Japan, so it's kind of just surprising that it wasn't one of the first places, if not the very first place, that they would push the game out. So, well,
Pikachu literally means Pikachu in Japanese.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you need to know right there.
I mean,
Pikachu is Japanese for Pikachu.
Well, all of the regions that are based off of Japanese, like regions really, for the most part.
Like Alola and Unova.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah. But, I mean, just Pokemon in Japan, Japan is the home of Pokemon, so it's just a little strange that it's still not out in Japan. I feel sorry for those guys, because they gotta be, like, hurting real bad. For the Pokemon Go.
They haven't, like, just bootlegged it and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I was talking to Hayden Gaming, actually, on Twitter. We were making plans to get him his Lucario amiibo. One of these days you're going to get it, Hayden. And we were making plans for him to get that. And I smell like smoke in the apartment. Hopefully, I don't know.
It's going to burn down while we're recording Koppai.
I'm not even paying attention, because I'm facing my desk at my little corner cubicle.
You're just like, I gotta keep recording!
Yeah.
I can't evacuate!
But no. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking to Hayden, and he said that he downloaded I think just the American version or something. You know how you can do that with Android phones, or if you try hard enough, you can on an iPhone as well.
Uh-huh.
But he said that he had read somewhere or heard in Canada that if you do that, you'll get banned.
No.
And so be safe out there. But I think you can go ahead and try it and be safe.
I think that has been debunked.
Worst case scenario, they ban your Google account and you can just make a trainer club, or vice versa. So go ahead and try it. It's really fun.
But I think a warning: there has been no confirmed cases at all of that happening. I think it's just been a lot of confusion with the server being so messed up, and if you're trying to use the Pokemon Trainers Club, I know that has been a little more wonky than the Google account, so I think there's just been a little bit of misinformation flying out. Well, for one, they've just basically said nothing about how to play the game, or what the game, except you just throw Pokeballs at Pokemon. There's hardly any instructionals, so there's just a lot of rumors, a lot of misinformation flying around about Pokemon Go. So I think that the rumors of being banned are disconfirmed, and I think that the majority consensus is that if Niantic was actually doing that, it wouldn't be a very good look for them to ban people that will be playing it in a few days anyway. I think that the biggest issue with that, if you're in a country that's not released in and you happen to have downloaded it and are playing, is that you're part of the problem of the server overload. It's like you need to maybe be patient in that regard, but if you can't be patient, which is really hard. But just keep in mind that that's part of playing into the server issues. Don't complain, because I heard about one group that was in a country where it's not released yet, and they were all standing around some Pokestop, and they were complaining about the servers, and somebody walked up and was like, hey, you guys realize, like, it's not even out in this country yet. You guys are part of the problem.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, I guess that's kind of true. And so, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're talking about, like, you know, I live in Minneapolis, so I go to the Mall of America quite frequently, and that place, like, you talk about the whole try again later, like, it's, I mean, if you have the patience for it, it's an awesome place to catch Pokemon. Lots of cool rare ones there, lots and lots of Pokestops, a couple gyms, I think.
Yeah.
I caught, like, a Jigglypuff, a Geodude, there was a Lapras that was there.
Oh, man.
And Michaela, my wife, was walking around, and when she was waiting for me, because I work there also at the mall. Well, I did work there. I'll be leaving there soon. And she was walking around waiting for me to get off work, and she was like, I saw this big blue guy. And he was so intimidating. He was just standing there, like, stopping my path. And she's like, and I tried to catch him, and then he disappeared. Like, the phone glitched out, or he, like, ran away or something. And I was like, it must be a Snorlax. Like, it's got to be a Snorlax. Like, you know, like, if it's a big blue guy. And then she was showing me her Pokedex, and she's like, that's the silhouette of the one I'm missing. And I'm like, no freaking way. And then I saw that there was one, like, I think on my nearby radar, but it's just so tricky in the mall. Because the thing is, like, the mall is, like, is classified as one location, I think, on, like, a GPS. And so even if you walk around the mall, your character is just so confused. He's like, I don't know what street you're on. I don't know where you are. And so
I also heard that the 3 steps thing is glitched out at the moment, and that it's not really accurately doing that. And I've kind of been having issues with that the past few days, where everything constantly says it's 3 feet away, or, you know, things will just be popping up when it didn't even recognize on the radar and stuff. So it's like, I think that with all the server issues and the crazy rollout, it's kind of glitching out other parts of the game too.
Yeah, I hope they fix that. I hope they change that, because in the initial trailer for the game, I rewatched that yesterday, actually, last night, along with all that new Star Wars information, which, whew, new snippet, just spontaneous Star Wars snippet. But no, I was watching, I was just kind of like on a YouTube binge last night after being so busy with moving in, trying to catch up on some media stuff. And Pokemon Go, the trailer was just recommended, so I watched that again. And it was interesting how in that trailer they have, like, it's not 3 steps, it's not 2 steps, it is Pikachu is 22 meters that way, you know.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I wish they would do something like that. I feel like it wouldn't be too hard with how they do count meters and stuff. Like, to just be like,
I don't know if you've tried Ingress at all yet, but Ingress has a really nice way that it actually, like, the Pokestops that are near me, it'll have, like, 680 meters to the Trails and Rails versus 710 meters to the Yanni Park.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's like where I'm at. So I can I'm like basically equal distance between the two, but it's like that Trails and Rails is just slightly closer. So that's really nice to know. And also it shows, like, for sure where you're going to go and find some of their little XM or whatever it is that you collect. It's like you can kind of use that to get an idea of maybe where a Pokemon will be, because it kind of ties in. They take from Ingress. So I have opened up the app and seen, like, there's large conglomerations or whatever of XM on these certain blocks. And so if you walk that way, most likely you'll get a Pokemon that will
nice. I'm going to download Ingress and see if I can find, like, any nearby kind of spawn point.
What it also is really nice is that it gives you access to the Ingress Intel map, which is like the whole world, and you can click on a city and see where all the Pokestops are and kind of plan, you know, where you might want to go check out and stuff like that. So that's really nice. I think they're working on some independent or third, you know, party ones of Pokemon Go, where everybody's like,
Yelp has that's not in our notes here, but Yelp has also announced that they're, like, partnering with Pokemon Go. So, like, if you have a Yelp review now, it'll also be like, by the way, 3 Pokestops located at this local business, which we kind of have in here. Pokemon is going to be getting sponsorships, and I think this is kind of a cluster of news here and stuff. But yeah, we'll real quick. Yeah, so we're 1 week in, still not out in those other places. The server overload is a huge problem. It's been super inconsistent this weekend with the launch of 26 other countries. I mean, sure, it's back online, but it hasn't been nearly as good as it was like Friday, for example. Friday they had it like perfected. It was almost no load, almost no like try again later or have to crash the app.
I heard that they were actually getting a DDoS attack on that day that it rolled out in 26 other countries. I don't know if that was just because of that. It was like some rumors, but I thought that I'd heard from it was a pretty credible source that it actually wasn't because of the 26 country rollout, but that actually they were getting an attack. I think that some hacker group had actually claimed responsibility for it, which is why it was like a little bit more credible of a source. That an actual like tweet or something from a hacking group came out and was like, yep, we're the ones that are taking down the servers. And
well, maybe though. I mean, you're a hacker group that wants to get noticed.
That's what I also considered too. It could have just been that the servers were down and they're like, hey, yeah, we did that. And, but yep, it seems like
either way, if it was a real hacker group, you guys are stupid. Just I don't get that. Like, there's been like other stuff going on in the city, like people doing things, and it's just like, everyone, just don't interfere with other people's lives. Just let us play our game.
Yeah.
I don't know what person's sitting there like and hears of all the fun people are having with Pokemon Go, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna ruin everyone's day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when you're so anonymous about it. Like, I just don't. I mean, I don't understand what like the mental sort of satisfaction you would get from that. But yeah, so servers really need to be improved. Hopefully, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, darn it, why would you launch in 26 other countries when your servers are finally good? But now it gives them another step back. Like, hopefully it'll be this whole thing of, as they launch these servers, it'll be 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And in a month or so, it'll be, you know,
it'll probably be
launched
perfect
everywhere. Everywhere, and then we'll get Generation 2.
Yeah, and it will also have probably died down a bit in a month where it's not quite as overload on the servers, you know, where, everybody's playing. I'm sure that people are going to be starting to catch them all by the month period, and like I see some people just absolutely going crazy catching every single, like they have almost their entire Pokedex filled up except for the legendaries, and so... I'm not even anywhere close to that because I'm just kind of playing at, my leisurely pace. I go for my daily walks and I play then, like when I'm going to go out and feel like getting some exercise and some fresh air. That's when I go play. I'm trying to not just overload on the game where I'm going to beat it in like 2 weeks. I don't like that kind of way of playing a game. So, it's...
Yeah, and like I want to play it, I think, the way it's supposed to be played. I think it makes for an awesome experience that you can share with people, like, what you've done. Like, well, we explored this new area in town today because we were going and playing Pokemon, and we caught this guy here, and, like, it's fun to, like, get pictures, like, when it's, like, memorable places. Like, I sent you that picture of Pidgey on the Forrest Gump stool that's in the Mall of America, or the bench and stuff, and it's just, like, that kind of makes for some cool moments and stuff, where it's like, oh, I didn't even realize there was a bench there, and I've been to the Mall of America hundreds of times, and it's like, I didn't realize that they had the actual bench there. Like, you just walk by it every day.
Yeah.
And it's cool for little moments like that of discovery, and if you just play it for the sake of just going around and catching Pokemon, like, at that point, just buy a Pokemon game. Mm-hmm. Like, why have the go part of it if you're just trying to fill up your Pokedex? It's about the going and exploring.
Yeah.
That being said, iOS users are spending more time with it, with Pokemon Go than Facebook. Someone actually quit their job to go Pokemon Go full time, which actually I would not be surprised if they made some money in that.
Yep, they got pretty famous actually from all the attention for making the press from having quit their job. It's like now they're getting a ton of attention. People are recognizing them in the street. It seems like basically they were financially stable enough from their job to just kind of go traveling for a little bit and use Pokemon Go as kind of the story to go along with it.
Are they just planning on selling their Pokemon like when trading comes out, or
I'm not sure. They said they'd had like 91 or something of the Pokemon so far, so they're just planning on going around and catching Pokemon full time.
Yeah, Pokemon Go is also set. I mean, speaking of money and making money off of Pokemon Go, it's set to have sponsored locations. Rumor has it that from a credible source that McDonald's will be one of the first partners. Yeah, and you put in here, I think in the notes, that like Subway would be a good option for like a healthy alternative. Yeah, I can imagine like GameStop's being a huge one where it's like...
Yeah, that's what I assumed. It would be GameStop, places like that. But
But yeah, just this whole idea. I mean, we've seen it because like I mentioned, I've been working at the Starbucks here in the Mall of America. We've noticed a huge boom in business from people because we have a Pokestop right outside our door, and people just hang out there and they're like, "Hey, let's go get a drink real quick," and they just walk in and grab a drink and then they go back and go catch more Pokemon. And it's just, I bet businesses got phone calls asking if they wanted to be a Pokestop. And I bet there was business owners that were like pish posh, like no, I don't want kids hanging out here. And then it actually launched and became the biggest thing in the world, and they're probably regretting it so much, calling up like Niantic, like please make our business a Pokestop. But yeah, and the last thing on our notes here before we kind of get into the generic topic of just is Pokemon Go getting too big. It's just like what our impressions of the game are. And personally, I mean, besides the server, that's my biggest complaint with the game, is just the server overload. Besides that, I'm surprised that I'm still loving the game. And it's like a traditional game where you feel like you have a sense of progression. Like, it just feels like a different game than when I started. Like, I still get my Pidgeys and stuff, but now there's a whole new meta game of, okay, now I need to start gathering to evolve. I do need to start gathering to train. I really need to start training up a team so I can have consistent gyms being taken over, and I also need to have a team that's strong enough to not only capture a gym, but then raise the prestige high enough so I can like get other people in there. I need to start. I mean, there's just like all these other things where it's like now that I'm at this higher level, because I'm a sliver away from level 16. And I also have about like 20 Pidgeys set to evolve, and I have a Lucky Egg being stored right now. And so once I use the Lucky Egg, get double XP and evolve, I think I have like 10 or so Pidgeys. I have 5 Rattatas, and then I have like one of like all these other Pokemon set to evolve with this Lucky Egg. And so I'm probably gonna shoot from level like 16 to 17 or 18 once that happens.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting in the higher levels here now, and yeah, there's just like a whole new metagame, and then once that all gets done, like it's, my wife and I were talking, like, is this going to be a passing fad? And surely it will. This, like, I mean, the mass hysteria it has is surely going to die down, but at the same time, like, this game does have some longevity to it. That's that whole Animal Crossing sort of thing, like, where you can't do it, like, all day and like just beat it in one day. Like, you have to walk, you have to wait.
Yeah.
Some Pokemon are on timers and are only there at night. Like, there's this whole mentality of just like you can't beat it in a day. You can't build up your, like, Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't build up your Pokedex in one day.
And all the medals that you have to earn too, which I wish that those gave you XP if you like got the gold medal or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they give you like no perks or anything, but it is still nice, like, to kind of gather it up.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to add, though, is just also you have legendaries coming. Surely other generations are coming. Like, when they can.
Yeah, they really need to do that because that's like a guaranteed way to keep the game interesting, keep it going, and they have like such a vault of Pokemon that they can roll out. Even if they added them, you know, what if they did 50 at a time or something like that? That would.
Well, I think even if they did like a generation every, like, you know, like biannually, so it's this holiday season with the launch of Pokemon Sun and Moon, you also get Gold and Silver on Pokemon Go, and that way, like, when it's snowing and it's colder outside, there's a whole new reason to go out and hunt for new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then do another one like at the 1 year anniversary, you know, like 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. And
even if they did it though, think if they did it as like 50 at a time rollouts, then it would make it extend for years and years to come. If they did it biannually of a whole generation, then if by this, you know, fall we'd have, you know, another, and then the next summer we'd have this generation, it seems like maybe too quick of a rollout, perhaps, unless they did it annually.
Maybe 2 or 3 years, so, because there's like, what, 7 generations, 8 generations now? And so that'd be 4 years, which is long for a game.
One generation like didn't add any new Pokemon, isn't that right? Wasn't there a?
I don't think so.
No, every generation has had new Pokemon.
Yeah, I just think Black and White 2 didn't. But
Yeah. That sounds right, I guess.
I think X and Y only added like 80 or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it added too many.
Yeah.
But then we're also gonna be getting another generation, you know, with
it's true.
Sun and Moon. So I mean, they could do biannually and still get out 4 years, which is long for a game, especially for a mobile game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not too bad. Because it's is when you think if they did want to extend it like over 10 years, they could. But I mean, who's going to be interested in Pokemon Go in 10 years? So they may as well do something like that.
Yeah, I think they just need to like pound this and just let it go. I mean,
yeah, yep.
And I think a yearly would be way too long for.
Well, also, you know, if you're playing the game perhaps a little bit slower, not as crazy as some, you could get to the point where that now your Pokedex, you've caught 100 out of 500 Pokemon because either you're just now getting into the game, you know, perhaps, and now it's like been so many years. It's kind of like when you get into an MMO or something. Now that all of the expansions are out, it's like there's going to be so much to do, and maybe you didn't play the game as crazy, so you still aren't all caught up on Gen 1 and Gen 2 before Gen 3 comes, you know, things like that, where I would think that a lot of people, actually probably a majority of people, would still be in that kind of boat versus the people that have been out from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., farming all the Pokestops and catching every single thing that they can and spoofing their GPS so that it, you know, they're not even actually.
Quit doing that. Quit doing that.
Quit.
If you're sitting here listening to Koppai spoofing your GPS, like
throw
your phone,
clicking where you want to walk. Yeah.
Just sitting like on your couch, just tap 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 tap. Oh man, it'd be so stupid.
They just sat up straight when they heard us call them out. They're like, "Oh crap!"
They go out for a walk. Oh man, but no, yeah. The other thing, though, the closing note on this topic is just the whole concept of like, you know, you have old people playing this game, you have jocks playing this game, you have people that don't know a Pikachu from a Pokemon, like they don't. Like they don't know what the game is, but they're playing it because some people are playing it because it's a fad, some people are playing it because it's fun, some people are playing it because they love Pokemon. And I think the message to all of them is my big thing is like, we kind of talked about it, where it's just like, man, shut up. Like, you don't know Pokemon.
Yeah.
You weren't there when it was being announced, and like, where were you and stuff. At the same time, like, you look at the games of Pokemon and Inside the World, and when you walk on Route 1, there's youngster Todd, and then there's Jock Billy, and then there's schoolgirl Ann, and there's construction worker Billy, and you know, like, there's, even in the world of Pokemon, they like really emphasize this whole diversity of people, and I think it kind of makes it more immersive. That's just like, yeah, like if the Pokemon were real, you would see all these people out there playing the game, and they would be holding their Pokeballs, and they'd have their little Pokebelts, and be walking around and filling up Pokedexes and all of that, and it's just, I think to me it makes it more immersive. And yeah, you have those jerks out there, like you said, you ran into some people that were like telling people to leave a Pokestop because they had it, like they put the lure module down there. They were the ones that had claimed the area. I read another story, I think somewhere here in Minneapolis, that people had spray painted like Team Mystic on a park sign, like this area is claimed by Team Mystic, and it's like, all right.
That's my biggest beef, I guess, with those people that are like kind of the bandwagon people that seem to maybe disrespect a bit and like aren't even being considerate. Like some people, it's like, I've heard this comment that you really kind of see the worst of people with things like this. Like it brings some of that out when a fad is like this big or something gets this big. It's like there's just some of those people that are like the people that are at 1:30 in the morning in somebody's yard talking loudly, and he comes out with his gun. It's like, why were you guys even in his yard to begin with at 1:30 in the morning? Use some common sense. The girl that walked across the street and got hit by a car and her mom was all upset blaming it's that damn game. It's like, like it's people are just being idiots. People that fell off the cliff, and like, come on, people, or people that
fell off the cliff.
Yeah, some people are like literally parking their cars in the middle of the street and running out of their car to go catch a Pokemon, and it's like, you cannot do that. You can't do that. Or that guy that like completely totaled his car into the tree playing Pokemon Go. It's like, some of these people are just, and like not looking where you're going, walking in like large groups, blocking the path.
My wife and I were wondering, like, I don't know how you don't look up from your phone. Like,
I know.
If you put it at your side and it vibrates when a Pokemon's nearby, there's no reason to look at it all the time. Put it in low battery mode and keep walking. Although I've run into issues with low battery mode where it makes it so I can't move my character anymore. Like
I can't press buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like sometimes whenever I do that, it, for the most part, doesn't let me like touch my buttons anymore once it comes back from the the dim screen and stuff. So I haven't been using that, unfortunately, which
Yeah.
really is
Although,
a cool mode. Like, if it works, I think it's worked maybe once or twice for me, but the majority
yeah.
it just doesn't.
I did hear though that if you download your Google Maps, the Google engineer said it doesn't work. But I've heard in response to the Google engineer saying downloading Google Maps doesn't work, I've heard other people just say like, no, it does.
Yeah.
If you download Google Maps like as an app or something, you can also you can save your local map, and I'm gonna try that today and see if it reduces battery life or data consumption or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let people play the game, but also be cool. Don't be that guy that's just so immersed in the game that you're not even like being part of the experience. I want Pokemon Go to stay big. I'm not one of those hipster Nintendo people that's like, save this for the nerds, save this for the diehards. Like, no, I'm so glad to see everyone enjoying it.
Yeah.
I point out to my wife, we saw someone today at Chipotle, they were playing it, and I point out to her, like, that person over there is playing it, that person over there is playing it. Like, look at all these people playing it. Like, everywhere you go, you see someone playing it.
Yeah.
People come to line at Starbucks, and they're all looking at their phones, and you can tell if they're playing, if they're swiping their thumb up to throw the Pokeballs, and it was just so weird to hear, like, this group of girls all talking. They're like, I think I can have enough candies right now to evolve my Pidgey, and if I evolve my Pidgey, it goes into Pidgeotto. I'm like, they know what a Pidgeotto is. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's so weird to hear that being, like, common vocabulary and common dialogue to people planning out their attack plans with Pokemon. When
what's so crazy is, like, just not even all the people playing, but how it's gotten, like, my wife to now, like, she never knew what Pokemon really was. I mean, she knew Pokemon, she knew Pikachu, maybe Charmander or something like that, but now she's, like, playing the trading card game. Now she's watching the TV show with me. Now she knows, like, all of these references to different things, like the Poke Rap and, all the, like, she knows who Ash Ketchum is and, these things that a lot of people are finally being introduced to a really cool universe that they may have thought was childish or stupid before, and now they're realizing, like, hey, it's actually pretty cool, and there's some fun stuff in here, and, like, it's actually kind of silly in some ways and funny for, like,
I keep trying
all
to convince
ages.
my wife to watch the TV show because she loves, like, Disney.
Yeah.
She loves Pixar and animation, and she also loves, like, puns and clever little things like that. And there's, like, that's Pokemon. It's animation and puns and the game. Like, it's perfect.
Kayla and I are laughing all the time when we watch the show. Like, we just watched that Metapod one.
The stare off.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the trading card game, but I don't have my iPad charger right now, so I need to get that. But just dropped my keys. But yeah, so that's that. Be cool to people and enjoy the game. And hopefully we get those server updates. Be sure to leave your comments down below on whether or not you think Pokemon Go's too big, what you think the future of it is, how you'd like to see updates roll out, what you want to see come to the game, all of that good stuff. Longer topic of the show, but that's the way we roll. Moving on. Speaking of Pokemon,